Oh, sorry.
I
Start
don't
it
want to
anyway.
do
Start is
both.
also less.
You guys just won't let me go live.
Yeah, yeah.
Both of you. I've said 5 times we are going live.
No, but he predicted that RCB will not win, and RCB won. My
That is
superstition
still.
won.
That is
I'm
I
just
still
said
still.
making
2 days
it clear.
ago that RCB will win.
There you go. That's why I buy coffee for Gargi. You know, Bharat, you realize that, right?
I I I sense, I smell an epic banter coming from Trisha and Bharat. But before that, let me give the introduction. I was obviously going to say an easy peasy lemon squeezy cakewalk chase for RCB, thanks to Devdutt Padikkal and his exploits in the power play. Job was half done, thanks to Devdutt Padikkal, and then of course Virat Kohli will never go out of style. No matter how many times you say that we've done away with the anchor, role that Virat Kohli was supposedly embodying, he's just, the class will never die. Virat Kohli will keep evolving with the game. He's not your typical aggressive batter, but at the same time the way that he toys with the strategies of the bowlers is something that everybody can learn from. He's 2 steps ahead of everyone, and the way that he was playing with the field tonight, I think that was a highlight for me when it comes to Virat Kohli and his innings. But Trisha, I'm sure your heart is screaming right now because you said in the pre-show that when Virat Kohli walks out to bat, you'll have a big smile on your face, and now you have an even bigger smile on your face.
Oh yeah, I mean the way Virat Kohli batted, but it's exactly what I had expected. Devdutt Padikkal, though I was not very sure, I was saying he will come as impact sub, and that's what happened. And I think what you said, impact sub will make a huge impact. That's exactly what happened. The huge impact that Devdutt Padikkal made, and then in that over, in the last over, when Virat Kohli decided it's high time, let's finish the match, everybody needs to go home and sleep on time. So I think while Bharat did not want RCB to win, RCB wants Bharat to go home early. That's why they finished the match as early as possible. What a win. What an absolute good start to the tournament. That's how champions start the tournament. I am all pepped up.
Bharat, I believe you have a lot to say. Please take it away.
Yeah, I just
Bharat
have
will
to
not
say that
predict.
it was me who predicted that Jacob Duffy is bowling well in the practice session, and he was the one who came out trumps. Just the fact that when he played for New Zealand, he kept bowling fuller length in the T20 World Cup as well as in the bilateral series against India. It made no sense. If you ask me, this just I'm saying it in a straightforward manner. The New Zealand coaches should look at themselves in a mirror because they asked a tall fast bowler who has a very high release point and someone who snaps his back hard to keep bowling on a fuller length, which made no sense. But when he tried to hit the deck hard, he showed what he could do. He picked up 3 key wickets. Yesterday, actually, Travis Head was smashing those, what can you say, short arm pulls against Ehsan Malinga. But as soon as he got to face a taller fast bowler who snaps his back hard, hits the deck hard, he could only spoon a catch. So that tells you the, I think, essence of hit the deck fast bowling, especially in T20 crickets, where you don't see much of swing bowling, you don't see much of movement. Unless you're a left arm bowler, left arm angle, it's very difficult to, I think, kind of survive in this format unless you are a tall, fast bowler like Jacob Duffy. So it was good to see that he stuck to his strengths. Somewhere I have to give it to Andy Flower. Yes, after that, Kohli and Padikkal played brilliantly. Padikkal has been doing a lot of range hitting here in practice matches every single day. So he must be in good form because he was basically lofting a lot of strokes, lot of lofted strokes that he played. One of those lofted shots could have even hit George Hazelwood on his back. Thankfully, nothing really bad happened for Hazelwood. It just missed him. So that tells you that he's in good form. And Virat Kohli, obviously in T20 cricket, he understands the game so well. He understands when to go up a gear, when to perhaps take singles and twos. Actually, in practice matches, he was trying to hit every ball for a six. So that tells you that he was not taking maybe those practice matches so seriously. Maybe it was just about feeling bat on ball. When it came to the match situation, was back to his best. I think 201 was never going to really test a side like RCB. In these conditions, you need 250. Yes, Kohli played brilliantly. Yes, Padikkal played brilliantly, but I think the difference came from Duffy because SRH didn't have any such bowler. I was surprised that they didn't pick Bryden Cars. I'm not saying he would have done something similar, but a tall fast bowler in these conditions where there's a little bit of bounce could have helped someone like Sunrisers Hyderabad.
100%. And, you know, Trisha, before we go back to talking about RCB and their brilliance with the bat, we all know that their biggest strength is their batting. So this does not come as a surprise for any of us that RCB went out there and batted the way that they did. But on the other hand, we spoke about this in the pre show. Captaining a team in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy and captaining an IPL franchise are two very different ball games. And Ishan looked a little bit clueless with his bowling choices tonight, the options that he had versus the choices that he made. And of course, there were a lot of errors with the glove as well. It comes from being under pressure. He had to lead the team in their first game. So we understand he's a growing cricketer, but at the same
Yeah.
time, some really bad choices out there tonight.
Absolutely, I think if you look at the bowling changes that Ishan made, it completely makes you wonder whether he was, not very sure of whom to get. Once put under pressure, he did not really have an idea. I think he followed a very set pattern that probably came from the dressing room, and that's where the mistakes also happened. As far as wicket keeping is concerned, yes, I thought he was not able to pick up the slower balls pretty well, which again, became a bit of a problem. And yes, we discussed this in the pre-show as well. Look, it's one thing that when you lead a domestic team, and it's a completely separate thing when you're leading an IPL team, because the bowlers are different, the situation is different, and then you look at the other end and you see Phil Salt and Virat Kohli coming out to bat. Yes, Phil Salt did not have an impact, but the moment Phil Salt left, Devdutt Padikkal came in and just took the whole game out of SRH's hand almost. And you are not able to dismiss Virat Kohli, which is, the problem is with Devdutt Padikkal going great guns, Virat Kohli not getting dismissed. You have not scored enough runs. You have got 201 runs on the board. And again, the difference between somebody who has captained and somebody who has not captained is Duffy bowled brilliantly. And I completely agree with Bharat. The banter is aside. I think he had mentioned how Duffy was bowling well in the nets. The cynic in him also mentioned that, and I'm saying this because he'll come up with this net practices later on, and some of you might jump at him saying, oh, you said so and so did well in the nets. Just because Duffy did well, not every prediction of yours works. But it's not about prediction. In the nets, Duffy was bowling well. He hit the correct length, which was wonderful. Used his height to great effect. And what did Rajat Patidar, the captain, do? He actually bowled Duffy out in the power play itself, because the top order of SRH, you dismissed the most important batters of SRH, and see what SRH has done. See, when SRH, RCB, the batting heavy sides play, 200 runs are expected. But you have actually stopped them to 201. Boriada and I were talking in the mid innings, and I said they're at least 30 runs short. If you look at it, the number of overs that's left, clearly they were at least 25 to 30 runs short. So I think that Ishan probably needs to learn. And first few matches, Ishan will take time to adjust, to understand which bowler to get in at which over. Sorry.
But the other thing is, SRH bowlers also had their line and length completely off. You can talk about Ishan Kishan not using the right bowlers, but then again, the bowling was actually really unimpressive from SRH.
Yeah, actually, what exactly could they have done in those conditions? That's what I was wondering with SRH side. I just don't think they had the arsenal. I just don't think they had the artillery in these conditions. Because if you see, there was even bounce. Little bit of grass was around, I guess, but that grass cover was just to ensure that the pitch won't kind of break down, or it won't get slowed down. It won't be slower as the game progresses. That is why I think that grass cover was around. So it was mostly about even bounce. Even if you try the slower ones like Unatkat would definitely try, or someone else like Harshal Patel is known for trying all those dipping slower ones. In these conditions, there was absolutely no grip. As I noted, SRH should have looked at someone like Bryden Cars. I'm not saying that he would have taken SRH to a victory, but still a tall fast bowler who hits the deck hard in these conditions might have got a little bit of bounce. Yes, Virat Kohli is a great player of fast bowling. He might have pulled him for 3 sixes and basically taken the side to victory right there itself. But still, SRH had a chance with a tall fast bowler like him. I don't know what exactly David Payne would really bring into the equation. In these conditions, I have seen him in county cricket. I've seen him in domestic cricket. In these conditions, I'm not very sure he would bring something different. So I don't think SRH had anything really going for them to contain RCB to a total below 201. If they really needed to win this game, I think they needed to score about 240, 250 with the kind of bowling that they had. So I think that is where they lost the game. And in these conditions, the kind of batting lineup that RCB have, Patidar coming in at 3, then obviously even down the order, Team David, Romaria Shepherd in these conditions would get to 30 of 10 balls as well. So I don't think they had enough on the board, especially with the kind of bowling they had at their disposal.
Bharat, I get what you're saying when you say that there was nothing on that surface for the for the bowlers. But at the same time, if you look at the kind of bowling that Jaydev Unadkat was doing, I think he was really good with those variations. He was able to beat Virat Kohli quite a few times, and I think that something like that was what was needed from the SRH bowlers. A little bit more smartness in how they bowled, and maybe a bit more use of variations, a bit of pace off the ball. And I think Virat Kohli and Devdutt Padikkal both were getting sort of caught to the slower deliveries. So I just feel like Jaydev Unadkat, out of the SRH bowlers, Unadkat was the only one who sort of looked like he had a lot of intent going in with the ball. Trisha, what are your thoughts about that? There is one question here. Rajat Patidar, absolutely. Rajat Patidar also played a very good cameo tonight alongside Devdutt Padikkal as well. And I just made a tweet, Trisha, which said that Devdutt Padikkal's batting is so pleasing on the eye. It's so beautiful to watch. His batting is the embodiment of the phrase "kill him with kindness."
Absolutely. And it's almost like that beautiful painting you are watching. The shots look so easy. I kind of dislike people like Devdutt Padikkal, because as a kid growing up, players like Devdutt Padikkal made you feel, am I being stupid that I have picked up
Batting is so
bowling?
easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Batting.
Batting is so easy. Why am I bowling in the heat? Because when we used to practice, we obviously had older techniques of practicing. So every practice day, we would come and we would have to bowl about 100 balls, right? So you would wonder, batting is so easy. Why are we doing this? But then when you go out to bat, you realize, oopsie, it's not easy. So I think, batters like Devdutt Padikkal um, are batters who can cure you if you are a cricket fan as such, and I remember a lot of people had at one point written him off, saying, oh, you know what, Devdutt Padikkal is not a T20 batter. But I think the way the guy has batted over the years, oh, what a beauty. I mean, it's brilliant.
Bharat, there's a question directed towards you. Bharat sir, whenever Hazelwood comes back, replace Salt with Iyer and play both Hazelwood and Duffy.
भरत तो आज ही सॉल्ट को रिप्लेस कर रहा था.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
very,
remember.
very dark here. Not able to see. He will
You can't
replace
read
Duffy or
it.
what? Is he saying that? Is he saying
Whenever
that?
Hazelwood is back, will you replace Salt with Iyer and play both Hazelwood and Duffy?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can try that. You can try both Hazelwood and Duffy, but then I think it would affect the balance of the side. It definitely would affect the balance of the side because then you might have to look at not having enough batters, even lower down the order. Someone like Romaria Shepherd might have to sit out. I think that goes against RCB's, what can you say, template. What they can do is have Jacob Duffy as a kind of impact sub, and that could come into the equation as well because maybe if RCB are batting first, they don't get a good score or on those lines, then they can definitely use someone like Jacob Duffy as an impact sub. I think that is what could help RCB side because in these conditions, with the kind of bounce that you are seeing, Duffy and Hazelwood would definitely make enough dents in opposition ranks. Uh, just can you give me 1 minute because Ashok sir is calling me. Just for 1 minute, I will.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Uh, Nitish Kumar Reddy actually bowled well, says Siddharth.
A
Do you
few
agree
balls,
with
yes,
it?
only a few balls, but
Yeah,
no.
I
In
don't
general,
think he
I
was
thought
very
he was
effective.
pretty ineffective.
And he was bowling over and over again right in the slot to Devdutt Padikkal, which is
Yeah.
why Devdutt Padikkal was also able to do what he was doing because Nitish Kumar Reddy was handing him those shots. It might sound a little brutal, but that was what was wrong with his bowling tonight.
But Gargi, the truth is, SRH's bowling, this is what we were talking about it, right? Both the bowling attacks looked the problem areas, but one Jacob Duffy spell here and an
Everything.
impact performance. I would say, of course, Devdutt Padikkal also include that 30 odd of 11 balls from Rajat Patidar. You know, I think changed the way RCB chased it down as well. And now think about the NRR that RCB has actually put in. I'm also a little worried to say this because knowing RCB, they will goof up one of the matches, get 50 all out or something, and waste the whole entire NRR if I keep talking about it. But the truth is, the whole intent in the batting of both the teams was expected. So that is where I think a lot of people will say, why are you speaking of Duffy more and the batters less? No, but then both the teams had the power pack batting lineup, and we knew that it is going to be a 200 run chase. Whichever team batted first, whichever team bowled first. But that Jacob Duffy spell, I think, defined the match absolutely, and that's why bowlers are so important.
Absolutely. They don't say bowlers win you tournaments for nothing.
Exactly.
Right?
I hope
The
they have given
secret
the
is
player of the match to Duffy.
I hope so too. It could very well be that they give it to Devdutt Padikkal
Virat
as well,
Kohli.
which I think is a possibility here. Let's. I'm just checking. Give me 1 second. I think
Sure.
Bharat is back. Okay. Yeah, Bharat's back. Bharat, I think it's getting a little too dark where you are. You can actually turn around because a light might help you. Oh wow, there are four floodlights behind him, so nothing. It doesn't make any difference
Yeah,
at all.
a little better. A little better. We can still
Because
see
I
your
think
face. We can
everywhere it
put
is
a
dark
face to
only.
the name.
Bharat,
No one.
there was a question here. Someone was asking, not asking, but basically a comment that said Nitish Kumar Reddy actually bowled well. What are your thoughts on Nitish Kumar Reddy?
Yes, see, what I would say about Nitish Kumar Reddy, right? What I would say is, see, in these conditions again, I don't think he had much going for him. In the sense that there wasn't much movement. He's not someone who's 6 feet 5 inch tall, fast bowler who can come in and get bounce. So at 135, 136 kilometers that he was bowling, I think that is the best he could have done. So I just go back to the point that SRH didn't have the kind of attack to do well in this kind of conditions. That is where I think first of all they didn't get enough runs on the board, and after that with a score of 201, I just don't think they had the bowling. So maybe in conditions where the ball grips a bit, where there could be a little bit of movement, Then Nitish Kumar Reddy, I think, will definitely can do well because he's bowling a little bit quicker. He's at least bowling 135 kilometers per hour, 136 kilometers per hour. In the recent past, I was watching him bowl at about 127, 128, 125 kilometers per hour. So he's got a little bit quicker. But for him to do well, I think he needs some help in the pitch, maybe a little bit of grip, maybe a little bit of moment. Then I think he can do well.
Trisha, that catch
Yeah,
from Phil Salt.
oh, the Klassen catch. I'm still a little here and there about it, because there was a point where I felt it has touched the boundary cushion, but the umpire did say something to Henrik Klassen, and Klassen was convinced. So if the batter is convinced that he's out, then I'm convinced he's out, because a batter, there have been times, and you know this, Gargi, because you are a batter yourself, that you guys are very mean. You just don't want to give your wickets, even when you'll probably give a catch, there will be a sneak, you would act all cool and calm and not say. So Klassen was upset. I think Klassen also saw that boundary cushion the same way that I saw. I felt that could be a shadow playing some sort of a role. That's what the umpire explained, and Klassen was happy. But that one-handed catch in the boundary line, yes, Phil Salt scored just 8 runs, but those were impactful catches. 3 beautiful catches. To think of it, Phil Salt is actually a fantastic in the outfield. Brilliant. If there are fielders like that backing the bowlers, because by then, Gargi, if I take you back to the match, by then, when Phil Salt, I think, took the second and third catch, Duffy's bowling was done, and Ishan was going all guns. Henrik Klassen and Ishan's partnership was becoming a headache for RCB, and then that catch came. So under pressure, beautifully done.
I'll throw this question to Bharat. Virat is better than any player in the IPL. Virat, what do you Rohit? Sorry, Bharat, what do you think?
Bharat, Virat, Rohit, सबको बुला लो तुम.
It's been a long day. Bharat, take it away.
Yes, Virat Kohli is such a consistent player. So you can say that looking at his consistency, that is arguably the best player. So if you look at impacts, there could be someone else. There could be someone like Chris Gale at his very best when he was playing when he was playing so well, when he was hitting all those sixes. Then he was something else. So he could be considered as well. But yes, if you look at consistency, I think he's perhaps the best, because it gets you those 700 runs, it gets you those 800 runs all the time, and that is why I think he's so good.
I think now Virat Kohli also has the most number of 50s in a chase in the IPL. Most number of 50 plus scores. So that tells you about the consistency of Virat Kohli. I'm just looking to see who got the player of the match. Jacob Duffy. Yay. So that's redemption for the bowlers everywhere in all of the lands, because I think there has been a change, Trisha. I think there was definitely a time in cricket where batters got most of the player of the matches awards, and then suddenly there was a lot of uproar, because this is something that the commentators choose, right? This award is chosen by the commentators, or who has had the most impact in the match. And there used to be a lot of backlash on why batters would get all the player of the match trophies. And now I think there's been a change in the recent few years that we've seen in the past. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Especially because somewhere I feel the commentators are also, a few bowlers are there in the commentary box as well, who must have raised the voice for the whole bowling community. But even then, I feel that in a number of matches, I have felt this, that the batter should probably, what, Gargi, I'll put it this way. Jacob Duffy got 3 wickets. Had he bowled a better spell and got less number of wickets, would you still give him the player of the match? till you have done that, you have actually not got a revolution, because the whole understanding of bowling is you might have bowled the best in the entire tournament, and in that spell you have probably got 0 wickets, and then you will bowl 5 random full tosses and get 5 6 wickets. So that's how bowling happens, right? And bowling has a lot to do with the fielders, with a lot of other things. So I think overall that judgment is still not there, but I completely agree with you. Previously it seemed like the competition was only among batters, that if you are from the winning team and if you are the reason that the team won, you straight up get the player of the match. Doesn't matter if the bowler was also responsible for it. But now that is seeing a shift, but not a complete shift yet.
Absolutely. Bharat, last 5 minutes on the show, and let's talk about the first innings as well. I think that was a good innings from Ishan Kishan, no matter what you say. There were some errors in captaincy, there were some errors with the gloves, but that 80 off of 38 balls, 210 strike rate, I think he's carrying that World Cup momentum with him when it comes to the bat.
Yeah, he's playing really well. I think one change I have seen in Ishan Kishan is with his grip. I feel he has done some work with his grip, and that is why he's able to play a lot more shots to the offside. He was very much an onside player. You know, when I first saw him, Ishan Kishan, somewhere in the, I think 2016 Under 19 World Cup, he seemed like the lesser version of Rishabh Pant. But in 2026, I have to say that in terms of limited overs cricket, is basically the better version of Rishabh Pant. That tells you that the kind of hard work that he has done in the last 1 year or so, after facing a few setbacks, credit to him, because he's playing a lot more shots to the offside. I think that has been the biggest improvement as far as Ishan Kishan is concerned. Today too, it really helped him. He's played a lot of shots to the offside, and that is why I think his strike rate was around 200. The same thing can be said about how he played in the T20 World Cup. If you look at his batting, he was playing a lot more pull strokes through the onside, and then through the offside, he could crack those drives. He was able to crack those drives or extra cover as well. That's definitely an indicator that from a bottom-minded player, he has worked hard on his grip.
Absolutely. Let's take some final comments and then we can close the show. RCB should back Abhinandan Singh. He has great potential. What is your take on this, Bharat?
Okay. Can you just repeat again?
Abhinandan Singh, he has great potential. What is your take on this?
I'm not very sure it's great potential. First of all, I have to say it's very dark here, so that is why I'm struggling a little bit with regard to reading. Anyway, Abhinandan Singh, I don't think he has great potential, but he's definitely quicker than medium pace. He dismissed Virat Kohli, remember, in the practice matches a couple of times. So that means that he can't be a bad bowler, but I think he's still a work in progress. He has to work hard on his game. He's presently too one-dimensional in the sense that he's trying to bowl short all the time, but it's not at all fast bowler to keep doing that. So I think he has to still work on his game, but it's definitely better than just medium pace, because he was able to bowl 137, 138 kilometers per hour.
Okay. Why does IPL matches always have highway pitches? Trisha? That's also the nature of Chinnaswamy wickets.
One, that, and B, let me tell you something, Gargi. And I'm not comparing any cricket. I'm just saying that in WPL, if you remember, in the second half, the Vadodara pitches were a little difficult to bat on. And of course, the scores came down from the Navi Mumbai pitches. And I remember Snehashish and I would keep getting comments in the show that, you know what, why are the matches being played in such difficult pitches where fours and sixes cannot be hit? So if these highway pitches are being used, these are used because people want to say sixes and fours. Would you be happy if you see teams 100 all out, 120 all out? I don't think so. Which is why the highway pitches are used, San.
Okay, so Bharat, we're going to let you go. I know what
let himself go.
No, I need to come out.
Oh.
It's like, we don't need you anymore. Bye-bye. But that's not. I'm just kidding. Before
Yeah,
anyone
we are
takes
just
it wrong.
joking. We keep
Yeah,
joking. Please don't take it in any other sense.
yeah. Next thing we know, Rev Sports is getting an email that Trisha and Gargi are bullying Bharat on the
Bharat.
show.
Yeah.
But we're just joking. But, all right, so we'll take your leave. I think that brings our conversation to an end. That brings our debate and the debate that Trisha and Bharat were also having to an end. Obviously, tonight RCB was the better team, but I still do believe there are some concerns when it comes to RCB. When it comes to SRH, there are even bigger concerns. But I think in both cases, the cases are so similar that once their star bowler comes in, one is Pat Cummins, the other is Josh Hazelwood, things will change.
Then I'm sure we'll keep our job. Boryada, the last time we spoke to Boryada, at least I spoke to Boryada some 15-20 minutes
It's a
back.
joke.
I'm quite sure my job is there. Don't worry. Not
Again,
promising, but
we are joking.
yeah.
In case you didn't understand me, sarcasm, huh? Don't think
Mm,
we are making fun of you.
yeah.
Anyway, we'll take your leave. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining again. As I was saying, that there are still a lot of concerns for both the teams tonight. Once Josh Hazelwood comes in, things will look a lot different for RCB. And once, of course, Pat Cummins comes in, that leadership hole will be, that void will be filled. So we'll be back very soon. Don't forget to join us throughout the IPL. We'll be here. Don't go anywhere. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.